Tila has been in controversy time and time again. Like, it's not just a one-time thing. Who does she get engaged with? Casey Johnson, which is like the inheritance of Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, which is so random, right? Now that you find out about the baby oil,
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson.
Hey, yo.
Yo.
How
But
did he
didn't
get
they-
into this?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
This the kind of beat that go, this the kind of beat that go, this the kind of beat that go, rock, ta, ta.
Welcome back to the Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again with another episode, y'all. And this time, we are going to be talking about something kind of on brand, but a little different.
Tila Tequila's A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila.
Yeah, but mostly just like a whole low-key mini dive into like her rise and her fall from fame at the same time. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that. So if you guys are interested in taking it back to an old school reality TV,
Facts.
tune in. We are the Petty Headquarters. We talk about reality TV, internet culture, Hollywood
Pop culture, all of those things.
Yep.
Right.
And so, yeah, for those of you new, please subscribe. We're the Petty Posse. And
Yeah.
for those of you returning, what's up, y'all? Welcome back.
So, without further ado, let's get into this week's dose of mess. All right. So, who is Tila Tequila?
Well, first of all, let's take it back. It's 2007 when it came out?
Yes.
2007. You got little old me, okay? I don't even know how old I was in 2007.
The seventh grade. You were like, what, 8th grade in 2007?
Let's do the math real quick.
You're like a year older.
2007 minus 1993. I was 14 years old.
Okay. So you were in 8th grade?
Yeah, I was 13, 14 years old, exactly. I definitely was already on my bisexual vibes, 100%. I knew I was like interested in girls when I was in the 6th grade. So by now, I'm already deep in. I'm already curious, already definitely have kissed a girl or two. And then you see on MTV this show, A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. And it's a show about Tila Tequila, who is supposedly bisexual and looking for love, both men and women.
Right.
And to me at the time, it was freaking huge because, I'm this girl who's not much lesbian, gay presenting shows at the time.
Yeah.
So on the low, I was watching that shit and I loved it. And it's so funny because for such a long time, I felt like Tila Tequila was, and still to this day, I can give it its credit to representing representing at the time that it was represented.
Right.
Even though now looking back, it's not really what I thought it used to be.
Right. And she came out in 2018 and said she lied about that shit.
Yeah.
She did it all for the fucking cameras.
Exactly. She was gay for pay.
Right. Gay for pay
But
is what she said.
14, 13-year-old me
Loved it
because there wasn't many. I went to a Catholic school and there wasn't many people. I was the only girl who liked girls and that was proud of it. You know, there were girls in the class that secretly were curious, but never someone who was 100% like into girls.
Right.
So it was a big deal for me. And I really liked it. But then now as I'm older and looking back on it now, it's kind of like a lot of things that I want to get into today. So
yeah, like let me just say, I love that show. I loved that show. Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. I will never forget the episode where they made the contestants eat bison dick. Balls and dick, and oh my gosh, I died. Like, those challenges were outrageous.
They were wild.
They were wild.
I think it was season 2 where you had to like either get a piercing, get a tattoo, walk on glass.
Yeah, it was so crazy. Like, what is this, Fear Factor? Like, what the fuck?
Like, damn, all for
bro?
love, bitch.
Right, all for That's how you know. I'm telling you, old school reality TV
Was wild.
It was wild, but it also was different. Like,
it was very
it
different.
was way more entertaining than what we're
Yeah.
getting now. I'm not gonna hold you.
100%.
They knew what they were doing. As bad as it was, that shit was entertaining.
100%. 100%. Like, even the fact that the guys in season 1 had to like come with a gift.
Yes,
And
yes.
like woo Tila Tequila on the first night.
Yeah, and I think that's similar too to I Love New York. Like, didn't they do the same thing where
think
they
so.
had like the gift too?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
And
goodness.
you saw people get creative with it.
Yeah, you see, and I think that's the best part about like old school reality TV shows, like the creativity. Like, you know, I'm like, wow, you really thought of that.
Yeah. Like, you saw some people embarrass themselves. There was this one
Yeah.
guy who had like a roast. He was singing. This other guy, he got her a pillowcase with his face on it. And
Oh
was
my
like,
goodness, I remember that.
I'll put you to sleep and you wake up next to
Mad
me.
narcissistic. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I don't even know you. I don't even remember if he was cute or not.
I don't think
I
any of
don't
them
think,
were cute.
yeah, they weren't cute, right?
Somebody made her a bowl of meatballs and spaghetti.
Yeah, that show, it was still funny as fuck, though.
Yeah.
That show was hilarious.
But it's so funny. I love how in season 1, the girls didn't have to do the gifts, only the guys. That's how you know the guys they was already losing.
Yeah, no, for real. But I really enjoyed that show, even though she ended up with nobody. On both seasons, she ended up with nobody.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it, right? So, you know, like remembering back to Tila Tequila. First of all, should we talk about how she got there first?
Yeah,
or-
let's talk about how she got there.
Tila was always ahead of her time.
Mhm.
She was an influencer before that
Name was a thing.
Yeah,
right.
the concept of influencer was an actual thing. She was ahead of her time and didn't even know it. She saw the importance of having a strong social media presence on MySpace.
Right, MySpace, and nobody even uses MySpace anymore.
Right.
Which is crazy. She was able to actually gain over 1.7 million followers on fucking MySpace, which is wild. You know, I never was allowed to have a MySpace.
Really?
Yeah, I never, and you know, I'm
never
so
had a
sad.
top 8 friends.
I never had MySpace because my mom was so fucking strict about mad shit. So all of my friends had MySpace, and I was the only one that didn't.
That's crazy. I had the website before MySpace, which was Xanga.
What? You see, I ain't had shit. The only thing I had was AIM. So that's when I was like up in the shit, because that I could keep secret a little bit, but like MySpace, like she was just like on my ass.
Damn.
Like, I didn't even get Facebook until like senior, junior of high school.
Oh hell no.
I know. And then when she found out by accident, because my cousin Shana, okay, if you're listening, you know exactly what story this is. She got too excited and randomly just told my mom that I had one, and my mom got so mad at me.
Oh, I know you was in trouble.
I was.
Caribbean
I
mom
was
trouble.
in trouble, and it's crazy because looking back on it, nothing was even happening. But you know, my mom was always so paranoid about like, online predators.
Yeah,
and she just didn't know. So it was such a new thing that she felt like if you're online, you're gonna be exposed to predators no matter what.
Mhm.
Even though it was just all my high school friends. Like,
Well, I mean, she wasn't wrong.
no, yeah, it's true.
But so going back to Tila
Tila Tequila.
she had a big following on MySpace, which ended up giving her the attention that she needed to get the show to begin with.
Right.
And that's how we got into this reality TV show, because she was doing Playboy, modeling for Playboy.
She was modeling for Playboy
Right after high
magazine, Stuff magazine, Maxim magazine. Like, she was really outside.
Yeah.
I wonder if she, like, I know right now she's like different. Like, now it's just very different. She is practicing her walk with God, but you know, she has a lot of issues. But I wonder if she would have done OnlyFans, or if she is doing OnlyFans. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, but maybe if that was
a
at the
thing
time.
at the time, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, so here we are in 2007, you know, watching Tila Tequila. And when I think back on it, right, I feel like even though it was so important at a time, and honestly, I think it deserves its flowers in a sense, but it also pushed a lot of homophobia and a lot of, I guess, bisexual stereotypes that now when you look back and it's like kind of like, it's a little cringe, right? It's a little cringe. So for example, on season 1, you had I guess the season 1 and 2, but 2 it was even worse. The men on season 2 were diabolical.
Yeah,
they were disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
They would say, "Oh, you would have to change." You would, being just very homophobic comments, and stuff like that. And I feel like even the concept, like guys being brought in the cage. And then girls being brought in the cage, and then Tila, as like when she eliminated people, it had to be a guy and a girl. There had to be a balance in that, which I thought was weird. Now looking back at it, right?
Yeah.
And then it goes back to the same thing, right? The point of when someone's bisexual, they are bisexual. Like they are that. They like both men and women, but kind of the concept of the show kind of makes it seem like you have to choose at the end. You're not. If you choose a girl, you're the lesbian. If you choose a man, you're straight.
But that was the mentality back then, for real, where if you said you were bisexual, it was like, no, pick one. Yeah. You're either this or you're either that. And that was also another scene that popped up in the Bad Girls Club. Sorry to bring it there, but there, old school reality TV around those times, right? What was it? 2009? Amber and Flo got into a fight on the show because Amber was like, hella homophobic. As much as she thought she wasn't, she was like, oh, I just don't understand. You either pick one. You either lick the cooter or you suck the cooter. Like, which one is it, Flo? And of course, Flo was like, yo, watch your fucking mouth. Like, watch your fucking mouth. You're fucking homophobic. Like, times are different now. Like, if I like both, that's what I like. What does it matter to you? Like, so I'm not surprised by that because that was always the rhetoric said out of everyone's mouth. Like, even in school too.
Yeah, 100%.
You always heard that. It was always like, which one is it? Which one is it? And people were like really fucking mean back in the day. And that's why, when I hear the shit people go through today, I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't have survived back in the day for real because it was ruthless.
100%. And even me, like sharing a little bit of my story, right? It was kind of like when I first was questioning my sexuality, of course I'm going to say bi because how do you know? I'm like in 6th grade, right? So like I am interested in girls, but I don't know.
Right.
And it's funny though, but as I got older, it was more like not necessarily a pressure, but a question that would always be had like, okay, at the end of the day, you're not going to be bi forever. You're going to have to choose one. Yeah. And in my situation, they were correct. But not
everyone's situation is different.
Right. There are actually actual bi people who really do dabble in both equally or prefer one, but still do both. Right. You know what I mean? So I thought it was interesting, but you're absolutely right. The show does reflect the mentality that it was back then.
So that show was pretty wild, yo. It was really wild. Yo, I gotta run it back.
We should do like a recap where we watch an episode. Right. Because honestly, I tried looking it up.
Or we could have like a watch party. That'd be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun.
I don't know if y'all down to watch it, but it's so funny because you can't even find Tila Tequila's show easily the way you can find all the other shows. Yeah, like on Tubi, I would have expected it at least there.
Yes,
it's not there.
It's not there.
It's hard to find. There.
And this brings me to like my thing. Like I feel like she was blacklisted by the industry. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, given her history and just looking at her as a person, going into fame, going through her mental illnesses too while being famous, and then her spewing out controversial comments and tweets, and then her making vlogs about the industry. And then all of a sudden, it's like she's no longer getting this deal. She's no longer getting this deal. She's no longer getting this. And suddenly she's just gone completely. After having 2 seasons of her show, right, she decided she didn't want to do another season. She was like, this is too much on me. This is too much mentally. This is just a lot. Like the network, they were doing too much and it was taking a toll on her mental health, right?
Yeah.
But then after that, so she didn't continue with it, but she had like book signings and she created a fucking manual, like a book called How to Hook Up with Tila Tequila. And I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, marketing, I guess. Like, marketing off of the show and the hype of the show. And Tila Tequila really was a huge deal back in the day.
She was.
Huge. I feel like, you know what? I feel like what she is what Nikita Dragon was. But now it's like the same pattern. Do you see that?
I could see that.
Like how kind of like Nikita Dragon has fallen off as well too, based off of her controversial moments and things that she's going through. Or even now when you see her post, it's like she doesn't post that much anymore. She's not really on social media that much anymore. And when she is, she tries to be modest, right? Like she's not her usual crazy, expressive self anymore, more reserved. So I think it's interesting how we see a pattern of like, you get fame, you're in that spotlight, it gets controversial and messy, something happens in the industry that we don't know about, and then boom, you get silent.
But also I feel like Tila, right, was also, and this is a part of her too, she sexualized herself.
She did.
And
she did.
She kind of was treated that way.
And that's the thing. She was like a sex icon almost.
Pretty much. Because first of all, you modeled for Playboy and all that. So off of high school, you're already in that industry being looked at as an item.
Yeah.
But then you got Tila, the show, right? Going back to the show for a moment. On both, like when you get towards the end of the season, all the, there's only like the last 3 or 4 contestants. They go meet the family. Now, when you meet the family, you got the heterosexual side, the men who are very conservative families, and they're judging Tila. They're judging Tila because she's has tattoos. She dresses like where she can show skin.
Yeah, for
and then they always break it to the family. She's bisexual. And they're like, that lifestyle goes against my way of living. Then you go to the families of the lesbians and they're like open and they're like, okay, like they accept it because at the end of the day, in order to have a lesbian daughter anyways, you're more open-minded in general.
Right.
So it's always a complete opposite of things. And I feel like even going back to the men's side of the family, the way they look at Tila, the family, it's almost like, why would my son bring this over? You know what I mean? Like they look at her and judge her like she is a sex icon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the show didn't help that. It only continued that. And I don't know. It is quite interesting, like when you say that, she could have been blacklisted because, I mean, she also did a lot of controversial stuff. So I can't even say she didn't play a part of that,
And that's the part where it gets tricky because, like, going back to the sex icon comment, like, before she even had this, like, she was doing music too, but, like, she had her EP titled Sex, and then she had these popular songs, Rat Room, and all this stuff. I Love You, produced by Lil Jon. Like, she was like working on her music career, came out with an album, The Dark Side, whatever. Welcome to the Dark Side. And, some people, she wasn't really known for her music. Like, she had a couple of hits here and there, but like, she just wasn't really known for her music. But going back to it, it still led to like sex, right? How she started Playboy magazine, the show, her music, like everything was very much surrounded by sex. And I think that's just something that she was just always comfortable with because that's all she knew. Like,
maybe.
You know what I mean?
And also I feel like she was troubled, right?
Yeah.
She was troubled because, she ended up like, Tila has been in controversy time and time again. Like, it's not just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
She's kind of been in the headlines. If it's not for... she, who does she get engaged with? Casey Johnson, which is like the inheritance of Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, which is so random, right? Now that you find out about the baby oil, Johnson & Johnson.
Hey, how did he get into this?
Oh, no. But didn't they get married and like right after she like died?
Yeah, no, she got engaged. They got engaged.
They didn't get married. They just got engaged.
And then a month after the engagement,
she passed away, which people started looking at Tila funny, but Tila was like really sad and like going through it and was trying,
her therapist put her on
suicide watch, which is crazy. Like, when you look at like the history, she, like you said, with her being troubled, she clearly has a history of like trying to commit suicide, which is like fucked up.
Well, so then, or gain attention because apparently, there was this one controversy where she had, claimed that her other identity stole her Twitter and posted a picture.
Jane, the other identity. But that's the thing too. Like, she said that she had dissociative identity disorder and bipolar disorder.
But it turns out that mark on her arms, they were not real. She did it for attention.
Oh no.
Exactly. And so, right? She's like, I don't know. She seems very troubled, like, and did a lot of things with drugs. Like she clearly needed rehab.
Yeah.
And she even was like supposedly gonna do a show for, what is that? Celebrity Rehab.
Oh no, Celebrity Rehab.
Yeah,
Celebrity
and then
Rehab.
They dropped her because they said she was not rehabilitated, not being able to be rehabilitated.
It's
or something
weird
like that.
because I hear mixed reviews. I hear either they dropped her or I hear she just decided not to do it because she was also going through shit and it wasn't the good time for her.
I feel like the industry kind of, like you said, pushed her away though, too.
I agree.
There was that one incident where that festival with the Juggernaut, something like that, is basically this group of people. They're called the Psychopathic Records. And basically, because she was doing music after everything. And they're basically these clowns that you know, they're, I don't know. She got a deal where she can go on and perform. And the crowd rejected her. They were throwing stuff at her.
They got violent.
And ended up hurting her. And then the company goes online and addresses that, oh, we warned her that, you know, she wasn't favored here, that she shouldn't come, and she wanted to come anyways. Which I feel like that response alone was showing that you're not protecting her. You judged her.
Yeah.
Same way people judge Kesha. Same way people judged probably Cassie. You know, these girls that are kind of like looked at as, oh, you're a slut anyways. So, you know what I mean? You're a whore anyways. So you don't need protection. You do it to yourself.
Yeah.
That's what it gave.
That is what it gave too, because there was also another incident, which this was dismissed, where she pressed charges against NFL player Sean Merriman, if that's how you pronounce the last name, and of assault. She said that he choked her, and when they examined her body, there were no injuries or anything. So they were like, no, they're not going to do anything. But then she decided to take him to court, and then it's still nothing happened. He decided to file a lawsuit of his own, saying that this is messing up his business with Walmart, interfering with that business that he had going on, a deal with Walmart. And I'm just like, wow, this is interesting. So we don't even know if that was the truth or not. I mean, they said that we don't see any injuries. So how can you prove that? And going back to like what you just said, they see someone that they think is just a slut. They see someone that's just troubled. Yeah. And it's easy to just be like, well, you do it to yourself. So there's nothing to see here.
Or you're full of controversy. So they think you're already the lying or you're the problem. Or you deserved it.
Yes. And then
because he said that she was drunk and he was trying to stop her from drinking and driving. I don't know how that relates to having to choke her, but I guess.
Right. So now it's just a little funny because what did you do? Because now it's not making sense. If she was drunk, you know how sometimes people get drunk and it's you know? So I don't know like what the situation was, but that whole thing just seemed a little fishy and a little hazy to me, and they never figured that out.
Yeah, and I feel like what might have been the results of is Tila's another victim of Hollywood in a sense where she wasn't protected. The same way Justin Bieber wasn't protected. Look at how much of a mess he is. Same way as Britney Spears wasn't protected. Look how much of a mess she is.
Same shit.
Same as Kanye West wasn't protected. Look how much of a mess he is.
It really gave Kanye West.
Yeah. And you know, going back to the bipolar thing, it must be a thing that comes with the actual sickness of being bipolar, where you have these like delusions and you start proclaiming Nazis and stuff like that, because that's what Tila ended up doing, right? The same thing. She admired.
Same thing as Kanye.
She admired Hitler. She said that he was the best and she can empathize with who he was as a person.
Yeah. She said he was an artist, a brilliant artist. And I'm like, wow. She even said happy birthday to him.
She did the salute.
She did the salute with two guys in a picture, posted it on Twitter. Like, whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild. And she got immediate backlash for that.
I just want to know why fucking Elon Musk didn't get that backlash when he saluted.
Money. Do you know how many people there are probably shareholders in his fucking business?
True.
Exactly.
That's true.
Money.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I guess you're right.
He's powerful. That's why nothing happened to him. The same way nothing happened to Diddy, even though something is happening. But look how long he got away with what he got away with.
He got a slap on the wrist anyways.
Exactly. Power, money, all of that control. And then his connection, who he knows, and Clive Davis, all these people, right?
True.
So now when we just look at the industry and we hear all these things and we're hearing all this stuff that happened to Tila Tequila and how there clearly seems to be a pattern, even with Kanye, the same, how do you spout the same shit on Twitter?
I know,
they have to be doing experiments on them.
Or it could just be, it can come with like the actual Sickness.
And they doing experiments. I don't care. They doing something on them. They giving it to them. They giving them the mental illness, bitch. I don't know what the fuck going on. Because how the fuck you spouting out the same thing?
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little weird.
It's weird. Like, it's very weird. But what kills me, though, and this is where I say, like, I feel like there's a difference between how women are treated in the industry and how men
100%.
are, because no one gives Kanye the same type of energy. Like, he still gets to be big, gets deals, gets to perform, gets to do this, gets to do that, has power, right? In his own way.
In his own way, but...
Right, but he's not as silenced as she is, or he's not, like... he's not blacklisted. Like, he still gets to have his performances, sell his clothing, all this stuff. Tila Tequila just fell off.
Yeah, she's gone
completely.
And you know, I and like I said, it's not like she helps the situation, but neither did Kanye.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between how they're treating the women as opposed to how they treat the men.
100%. But that's just in general. Like I said when we talked about it before. Like, why is it that mostly women go into conservatorships, but never men?
Yeah, you did say that before.
There's Kanye. If Kanye was a girl, he would have been in a conservatorship. Wendy Williams went into one for less.
Yeah,
you feel me? So it's like there is a 100% favoritism towards men versus women, but you know, Tila didn't help her situation either, which is unfortunate. Like, how you gonna sit there and go? And, you know, just because you're a born-again Christian doesn't mean you got to deny your past. Like, how you sit there and say, I was never a lesbian, I was gay for pay, I was this and that because Hollywood makes you do embarrassing rituals, gay rituals.
Yeah, she did say that.
But then you were engaged to Casey Johnson.
Right.
That was not for cameras.
Yeah. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Didn't they get together from the show, Tila Tequila?
Did they? No.
I could have sworn second season. That's when she got with Casey.
Really?
I could have sworn. Maybe I'm bugging, but
maybe. But Johnson & Johnson are rich, so maybe she wanted to get her pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which is why one of the other guys she was dating, she left him because he went bankrupt.
Oh, it's all making sense.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. It's just messy. I feel like it's just the whole thing is messy, and this is not. Like, I'm sure she has her flaws, 100%. But it's like when you have your flaws and then you're dealing with an industry that's shady as fuck, it's just messy.
Where are Tila's parents?
Right.
Where are her parents? Why wasn't she protected? Why was she 18 years old modeling for Playboy? Where are her parents?
That's a good fucking question. I don't know shit about her. You don't hear nothing about them. You don't ever see them in pictures. You don't hear nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know shit about Tila Tequila's parents, yo. Oh no, that's a great question. Yeah, there's no information about Tila Tequila's parents online.
No, just that they're immigrants that came here from
Singapore, Vietnam, one of those, both of them actually. Born in Singapore, fled to Vietnam, came here from Vietnam. Pretty wild.
Well, they wasn't, you know, and I get it because they're immigrant parents. So, like, they don't know.
They don't. So
they don't know.
Yeah, and that's probably why she was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to do whatever I need to do, which is why she's modeling for Playboy. That's where the money was at.
Yeah.
That's where the money would. She want to get the money.
She wasn't protected, I guess.
Yeah, you know? It is crazy. And then, you know, she did go on Twitter, too, and say that 9/11 was a hoax and all this stuff.
And I feel like that comes with, like I said, the bipolar stuff. Because
I think the industry gave it to her at this point.
Nah, yo, because even like people I've seen with schizophrenia, and I'm going to speak of schizophrenia because I studied that in school. Like, there are different types, but they come with the same qualities. Like, there's the paranoia one where you think the CIA is going to get you, you know, and stuff like that. Or you have the schizophrenia where they're like childlike figures that come for them. And there's different forms, but you see the same qualities. And that's why I feel like with bipolar, there must be a quality in that where, you know, they start to dive into these conspiracies and you know, I don't know, just I guess happened to mention Hitler. There's this fixation towards that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Like, why do they always mention him?
I don't know.
That's the weird part. Even in this this show on Netflix that I watched, and I forgot the name of it, but it's based on a true story. And it's about this guy, his mom. I think she also kind of had a mental illness where she was just very like obsessed with like God and church and felt like anyone that just was, if you even looked at a girl that was sin, you're the devil. And this guy lived with his mom. His older brother tried to get out, but he also suffered from his own mental illness because he was like dressing in girls' clothes all the time, but like his mom would always punish him for that. And he would go nowhere. He wouldn't talk to no one. And then he would put people, he was a killer. He was a serial killer. But he would like put it was like Leatherface. I think it was like the story kind of like behind Leatherface almost. And he put people's skin on his face and all this stuff. But there is a scene in there where he was also fixated on Hitler too. And that time, and there was this woman that was in charge, and she did terrible experiments on Jewish people. And she's like, they wrote history books about her, and he learned about her in a book and became obsessed with her and started doing the same experiment she did and started mentioning Hitler. And he was also mentally not sound, and he was a killer. And I'm just like, yeah, what the fuck is the connection?
Well, I want to tread lightly with the shows because the shows are basing it off of.
I know, but what is the connection?
Maybe we need to talk to somebody who specializes psychotherapy.
Maybe because this is just a question. I don't know. I don't claim to know anything about this
right,
shit.
no,
I'm just saying, like, what's the connect? Why is there a connection?
There definitely is a connection.
Why is it that his name always gets brought up when talking about like someone that's mentally ill or someone that's going through their own like problem? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, me neither.
Kanye, Tila Tequila, this show, Leatherface. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know but it's interesting to think back on her because,
she was a big deal, man.
She was a huge deal.
Huge. She fell off hard.
Yeah, now she's not even like
existent, like in terms of any type of fame or anything.
Yeah,
she's
just crazy because she was the pioneer to a lot.
She really was, and to think that she was really the first influencer before influencer became a thing, but a word before people really took social media seriously. Like she was really doing that
100%.
And what's also wild to me is that she also had a custody battle with like her daughters, and it's a lot going on with her, man.
I know. And then she was like off of reality TV for a long time, and then back in 2016 she ended up having a gig at Big Brother.
Yes.
Which didn't last long because that's when they found out about her Nazi tweets 3 years before that. And it came to bite her in the ass because she got kicked out of the show.
Literally the day after. She did one day, that was it. She was gone. Yeah. And I was like, damn, it's crazy.
I mean, that goes to show you though, like, no matter what the excuse is, no matter what it is, if it's on the internet, it's on the internet forever.
Well, I just think it's crazy though, like how some people are protected, but then she's not. I think that's the thing.
I mean, Erica Mena got thrown out for less.
No, we're not talking about Erica Mena or talking about anyone else. I just think it's interesting. But that's, again, going back to power, right? Because you did mention Elon Musk and nothing happened to him.
Yeah, but he did the salute, and he can put it as, oh, it was just a happy moment.
No.
He never directly said anything.
Absolutely not. Because she posed in a picture and did all of that. And look, he did that with his chest. He did that shit with his whole chest. Everybody commented on it, but I didn't hear much people. It was quiet. It was crickets, and nothing happened to him. But that's what goes to show you power. Certain people aren't affected.
No, because Kanye was, and Kanye was.
Kanye don't got Elon Musk power.
He has power, though.
Not Elon Musk power. Let's be real.
I feel like Elon can get away with it, though, by the slightest because he never directly mentioned the name.
But
makes the difference.
Look who Elon is connected to.
But that's what makes the difference. Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's what makes the difference. Look who he's connected to.
I feel
he was like the president's right-hand man.
But I feel like if he at least had made a comment and then got away with it, that's different. Then I feel like that holds value.
Girl, I'm sorry. I don't think that he did that shit with his chest. I don't think he needed to say anything else after that. Like, that was self-explanatory in itself, and he did that shit to prove a point. He really did that just because he could and because he has power and he is who he is. So it's like, no one said anything to him. Listen, all of these things are bad regardless, but it would be nice to, keep that same energy and keep that same treatment for everyone. And that's it.
Well, it's funny because Kanye recently came out and did like a whole love letter back to apologizing to the
whole love letter? It's crazy.
Yeah, to the Jewish community, even though Kanye did the most, bro. He wore a KKK outfit and everything.
I don't know. I'm telling you, they're doing
And-
experiments on them.
I'm tired of the experiment excuse because I feel like that takes away all accountability. Because now it's oh, you know, he blamed his car accident that happened 20 years ago. Well, you're 20 years too damn late to apologize. And then he apologizes to the Jewish community in the first piece of paper. Then on the second draft, on the second half, he apologized to the Black community. And it's like, bro, and it's so funny because people are like, oh my God, they're falling for it again. People are falling for it again because now he's taking accountability. Do you know how many times he takes accountability? He gets you in and then he's going to go back to doing the same thing and then blaming how, you know, everyone's against him. But you could tell that he's losing money. That's why he has to come back and apologize.
And that's the same pattern with Tila Tequila too. And him comparing himself to Jesus, she did the same thing. She literally said her fans are devils and demons. And I'm just like... There's too much comparison though, like in terms of the patterns. Like why are the patterns like clockwork? I'm
curious to know, and this is my ignorance, obviously, but I feel like if we were in a school that studied mental illness, I feel like we see these examples because they're famous. I wonder those people, and if somebody's a specialist, right? We have to get somebody who's a specialist on here. Real. But I wonder if there's a pattern amongst people in general who have bipolar disorder who fixate on Jesus and the devil, because that's a thing in schizophrenia. There's this God complex when they have their moments, and I'm speaking again only on schizophrenia because I know more about that than bipolar. But on when you have an episode in schizophrenia, you have this heightened moment where you think your strength, you're godlike, you're unstoppable. And so you have these heightened moments where you literally think you're God and everyone against you is trying to stop you from being your ultimate self. These are things and the qualities you find similar within all people who suffer from schizophrenia. So I wonder, again, going back to the Jesus and devil thing, that's something common that you see in schizophrenia. I can imagine it would be something common in bipolar disorder as well. I don't know. I'm ignorant, but I'm curious to know if there is, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are all valid, great takes. And going back to what you said, I can see how me talking about experiments or even like anything else can be like taking away their accountability. Would you say that mentioning their illness is also taking away their accountability?
No.
How are those different?
Because just because you are mentioning the illness doesn't take away from the fact that you should be taking control of it. And I feel like that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You don't agree?
I'm listening. I didn't say anything. I'm listening. I'm trying to digest what I'm listening to.
I don't think that saying that you have a mental disorder takes away the accountability. It just helps the person who's seeing this happen understand more of the root rather than as an excuse, because it doesn't excuse you.
Okay, so that was my question.
Yeah.
So you answered my question.
Yeah, it doesn't excuse the behavior.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if you are aware that you are sick, you need to get it in control. You need to take your pills, which is something that it becomes a thing. Right? But I feel like when you say it's an experiment, now there's complete no accountability. Now it's everyone else. They're doing it to me.
So when someone says, yeah, sorry, and their answer, their apology is because I have the mental illness, is that also in that category? Like, I'm blaming the mental illness instead of taking accountability?
They are not taking accountability and they are blaming it, but that's not excusable is what I'm saying.
Right. I know. I'm saying it's not excusable, but I wanted to ask you if you thought it was excusable, but you answered my question.
It's not excusable. However, people do use their mental disorder as an excuse.
They do.
Correct. I agree.
And some people may not agree with that, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Do you think is she even on TikTok?
I don't know.
Is Tila Tequila on TikTok? Yo, she fell off hard, yo.
I don't know.
Damn. Well, I think we answered most of my questions because, I mean, it's very clear she was blacklisted. Like, yes, she was troubled and she had a lot of issues, but she also, didn't take the accountability to get the help that she needed. And she almost This is crazy. Like, even hearing about how she almost died of an overdose, brain aneurysm, like, it's wild.
It's
like,
giving troubled person, not protected as a kid, and now you're going through life alone.
And like the amount of time she's wanted to commit suicide, it's kind of alarming, and I'm sure there's like undocumented moments that we just don't know about too. So
for sure.
It's crazy. Like, she wasn't protective. And end of story. She was not protected. And it's sad. It's sad because you do see a lot of people that are in the industry and it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. And it plays out the same way because at the end of the day, it takes like a huge toll on the mental. And it's wild just to see it happen. But, you know, that is the rise and fall of fucking Tila Tequila.
Yeah.
Shit. You have anything else you want to say about that?
No, I just wanted to talk about it because it's a throwback. It's an OG, and I feel like, it doesn't get the flowers that it deserves.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Especially for the LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? That was monumental for us, back in the day. There wasn't much of that representing on TV. So it was really cool. But yeah. That's pretty much it. It's unfortunate that she wasn't the best to represent it at the end.
I know, but it is what it is. R.I.P. No, not R.I.P. But you know what I mean. The show. R.I.P. A shot at love. Tila Tequila. The show, not her. All right. Definitely comment your thoughts below. Let us know what you think. If you watched the show, if you was watching that shit, comment that shit below too. What was your favorite scene? Want to hear that? We also want to know where you're from because we always want to know where you guys are from. With that being said, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
You guys can find me on Instagram at it's.TianaLock. Oh my God, I'm getting used to it. And you guys can find us on Instagram at The Petty Headquarters. You guys can find us on YouTube and all podcast platforms at The Petty Headquarters. Also, guys, we do have a Patreon where we post our exclusive, uncensored things on there. So please tap into BTS, our vlogs, and just overall exclusive content. So you can find us on Patreon at The Petty Headquarters. All right, very simple. All of these links will be in the description as well as the show notes. So tap in. So with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess.